Okay, Excel challenge from Vijay, XLBI, also called XLBI 424 from yesterday, which was the 1st of April. I hadn't realized it's the 1st of April, whether this is a joke question or a real question. I really enjoyed doing it. I'm going to show you how it's done. Let's kick ass with Excel. Before we start, you must be wondering, what is this? What is this beard doing on my chin? Well, this beard used to sit on the chin of Paul Barnhurst. Now, I just learned through the great oracle of LinkedIn that he wants us to know that his beard has left his chin. And if you're wondering where it's gone, here it is. Right? So let's get started with this. So what Vijay is saying is, or rather the happy chappy is saying is multiply each adjacent digits and place them in the gap between them. Okay? So how do we do that? Let's look at how that looks like in simple steps. So let's take row 4, for example, and we have 4, 3, 3, 9. We grab the source, and source into a string is 4, 3, 3, 4, 3, 3, 9. And we create an array of digits from this source string. So we got 4, 3, 3, 9. This is for row 4. So I've called that array source right here. And there are 4 elements in it. In this case, row 4, 4, 3, 3, 9. Okay, that's first step. So now we create a second array, which we'll call array in between, which is basically when you multiply the two adjacent digits and the result of that, which is 12, 4 and 3, 4 times 3 is 12, 3 times 3 is 9, and 3 times 9 is 27. So we got 2 arrays constructed. All right, so our next step is what? Is assemble the result. And so we'll assemble a string which loops through these 2 arrays together so that we have one from that, 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 and one from that. And we end up with one from that, which is a trailing 0. Okay? So the last step is to remove the trailing 0. And we're done. So that's the result for one row. Okay? Now, what I've shown you is in first principle. It's got nothing to do with programming any particular type, formulas, or VBA or Python or, I don't know, nuclear bombs, not doing any of that, right? This is pure thinking. This is just simply understanding the question and laying it down in a diagrammatic form so that I can understand it, you can understand it, and everyone can understand it, all right? That's all we've done. Now, the next step is how do we implement it? Now, I've chosen to do this with VBA because that is the easiest way to implement anything by design. VBA, or basic, be designed to be able to do that. Even a child of 4 can understand it. So if you know a child of 4, he can kind of explain it to me. So here's how I have implemented. Now, I'm not going to take you through step by step, but I'm going to show you, I'm going to point out the bits that correspond to the steps that we did before. There is a longer version, but not just yet. When I get round to it, I'll do a longer version that takes a complete beginner from step to step. We'll talk introducing what this for. Okay, for a complete beginner. Well, for a complete beginner. Right, now, the first step is that, so this is, I've actually looped it, but I'm going to look at this middle bit here. This is the first array. Oh, sorry, this is where we grabbed, no, that's not it. This is where we grabbed the string, the source string. And this is a first loop to construct the first array. So array source is what we have at the end of that. And then from that, we created the array result, if you remember. And that's what does that. And this is for me to check that I've got what I need. And then the next step rather is to assemble the result. As you can see, I've taken one from one and one from the other, and then added it, concatenated it to the string, to the result that I'm already building. Right. So the last step, as we said, is to take off, because we will always end up with a leading or a trailing zero. Trailing zero, right, is out here. And then we put the value onto column 3 of the row that the source was in, and then I put all of it into a loop so that it starts at row 2, this row 2 here, right? And then goes row by row to the end until that is satisfied, which is that we come to the end of the list. And so that's our loop that finishes, and that does the job, right? So that's our first solution. I've given you 2 solutions. The next solution is even more interesting. All right, so let's see what happens when you run it. I've got it up here, and I'm oopsie. Let's run it, and what we get is, there we are. That's the answer that we were expecting, and is absolutely totally correct. Okay. All right. So what I've also done is a second solution. Okay. Why settle for 1 when you can have 2? So we got the second solution, which is I have put all that code, exactly the same logic, exactly I copied and pasted it here, and made it into a function. And I call this func XLBI424, right? And if you study this, you'll find that it's exactly the same code without the loop. And what have I done different? As you'll find in any function, we put the result into the name of the function, and it should return a string, which is basically what we're looking for, right? So you can study this later, but let's see it working, right? Let's see it working. So let's move our friend from there to there. I wonder who he is. He looks happy, doesn't he? I'm happy. All right, so put the function in here, just like any other normal formula, func, xlbi, blah, blah, blah. And there's only one argument in that, which is this one here, right? Close it off, and what do you think will happen? Fingers crossed. Pray to, I don't know, a tree, whatever you want. Bingo. That's the right answer, right? Now all we need to do is to flash fill it down, and there you have it. All right. So 2 ways of approaching this. One, the logic is the same, right? The logic is exactly the same. All we've done here is I've first of all implemented it with basic or VBA, and second, I have put that into a custom function so that it's now a formula, and it's also live. So I'm going to test that by saying 307, right? I'm going to put 3507, and look at this here, right? Look at this here. All right, beautiful. Don't you love Excel? I love Excel. The great thing about Excel is that you can program it, right? When I was in university, to program anything, we had to go down to the basement. There's this big sort of white boxes. Actually, we weren't even allowed to see it. We weren't allowed to even go near it. Men in the white coats were doing it. But you can have this in your, on your own computer. It's absolutely brilliant. That's what I love about this stuff. All right, so that's it. I'm happy. I hope you're happy. This happy chappy is happy, right? So good piece of work there, I think. I'm going to go enjoy my lunch, and so should you. See you next time.